Hey guys, now we're going to take some of our drop 2 chords and apply the 9 to them. And here we'll see some of the chord substitutions and a few of the other shapes that they will remind you of. The first one we were forced into doing was the root on top with the 7 on the bottom, because that minor 9 is exposed on the outsides. So we applied the 9 to it. Wherever your root is, root on top of this is a G major 7. You'll go 2 frets higher for the 9. So G major 7 with a 9 is a G major 9. What we have here then is a 7, a 3, a 5, and a root, or 7, 3, 5, and 9. This also looks exactly like the 7 on top minor chord, minor 7, based upon this B note. There you would have the 5 and the root of the B chord, the 3 and the 7, the flat 3 and flat 7 of the B minor 7. So a G major 9 is identical to a B minor 7. With the root on top, the G major 9 is the same as the 7 on top, B minor 7. This 1 chord is the same as its 3 chord. Right here we had the 7 and then the 3, the B note. So if I go from the G to the B, the root becomes that B note, the 3. So 1 major 7 with a 9, 1 major 9 is the same as a 3 minor 7. At any point when you're playing on your guitar and you're looking for that major 9, you know you can substitute a 3 minor 7. That will come in very handy in a moment or two. But first, let's turn a bunch of these inversions into 9s. So we have the major 9, the G dominant 7 with a 9, G9, the G minor 7 with a 9, G minor 9, and we can even do a half diminished, G half diminished with its 9, but usually a flat 9. So it would be a G minor 7 flat 5 with a flat 9. And that would be a nice handful of chords you could do on that first set of strings. As always, we can always do them on the middle set of strings as well. I haven't drawn that set, but I'll give you a quick look at it. For instance, if we had D on top, the root on top, we have the A right under it, so it's 5 in root, and down here is the 7 and 3. It's not really that horrible, but we're trying to avoid this minor 9 between the C sharp and the D, so we raise the D to an E note. Once again, that D major 9 is also an F sharp minor 7. So on the 3 of the D chord, there's the 7 and the 3, the F sharp. On the F sharp, this is a 5 and a root, and a flat 3 and a flat 7. So if I took a D7 and turned it into a D9, that would be an F sharp minor 7, flat 5. I can also make it a D minor with a 9. This is an F chord, major 7. So on the minor chord, D minor 7 with a 9. It's on the 3, but now it's a flat 3 because it was a minor chord. Flat 3, F, C, and A, F chord with a major 7. If you flip that around, this F major 7 is the same as its own 6, the D minor 9. So major chord, major 7, is the same as its relative minor 9. So C major 7, for instance, is the same as its 6th chord, A, with a minor 9. We'll see that in a moment as well. Once again, I can put these on the lowest set of strings. I am not going to bother, as I talked about before. I'm just not terribly in love with having the root and the 5 up on the top of this bottom set of strings. Let's take another look at something we just encountered there. In this root on top, if I went to the 2 chord, for instance, the A, here's root, G major 7, there's the A minor 7, A, E, C, and G, root 5, flat 3, flat 7, or phone number from the bottom, flat 7, flat 3, 5 root. If I make it a 9, I add this B. And then you see you actually have a C major 7. That's what we just said in that D example as well. C major 7 is the same as its 6, A minor 9. Or or a minor 9 is the same as its 3 major 7. That's kind of handy to know when you want to do some substitutions. So we could have G major 9 and C major 7, or same chords, G major 9 and A minor 9, or same chords, B minor 7 and A minor 9, or C major 7. So I've got 4 chords for the price of 2 there right now. That would be on the root and the 2 chord. That will happen throughout the scale, obviously. If I get to C, the 4 chord with the major 9, that's the same as the 6 chord, the E minor 7. It's the 3 of the 4 chord, but it's the 6 of the key. So these chord substitutions will become very handy to you in the future as well. The other one I really like is the 5 on top using a 9. For instance, with a 5 on top C chord, the major 7 is actually quite a bit of a grip for me to get. I've got the C and the G, the power chord here, and the 3 and the 7 on the bottom, the power chord there. But if I move this C into a D note for a 9 on that chord, I get a fingering I'm a little more familiar with. So here's the C with the 5 on top. Here it is with the 9 in the middle. So C major 9, 5 on top. You'll recognize this shape is a minor 7 built upon the 3 chord. So the C with the 5 on top, when I move the 9 into it, is the same as the E minor 7 with the 3 on top. So again, major 9 is the same as its 3 minor 7. That was C and E minor. We just saw it up here. C major 9 is the same as this E minor 7. So here we get it on the 1 chord. Or we can take different inversions. I can say I had this G major 9, which is the same as B minor 7, and flip it here to the C major 9, 5 on top, or the E minor 7. So G's to C's, or B's to E's, B minors to E minors, and A's to C's. So you get a whole bunch of chords within 1 or 2 grips once you start substituting in your 9s. I want to show you the 5 on top, also on the second set of strings. I've only drawn the one example there. Let's say we're looking at an A, and we have A to E, root to 5, 3rd string to 2nd, and then I've got the C sharp and the G sharp in the bass, the 3 and the 7. This grip again is very hard to reach. It's a long stretch for me. But if I take the A and make it a 9 in the middle, I put the B in this chord. There's my A chord again. You'll recognize this shape though as a C minor 7. So as we've been saying, this 1 chord, the 5 on top A, with its 9 in it, 1 major 9, 5 on top, is the same as its 3 minor 7, 3 on top. So that's another nice place to use the 9. If I'm coming down to an A, I could hit an E7 and stretch into that A, or I could do the E7 and play it as a 9. But all I'm fingering in my mind is this C sharp minor 7. Here's one more example I'd like to do. If I took an F major 7 chord with the 3 on top, that's root 5 7 3, F C E A, and I make that a major 9 by raising the root, the F, to a G. You see I've got that same A minor I had earlier. That A minor, when it was a 9, was a C major 7. So check this out. We have F major 7 or F major 9, which is A minor 7 or a C6 even. A minor 9 is a C major 7. C major 7 with its 9 is an E minor 7. So F major 7, F major 9. A minor 7, A minor 9, which is C major 7. Here's C major 9 by raising the C to a D, which becomes an E with a 5 on top, a minor 7. These chords then will allow you to do a lot of voice leading in one little section without moving around a whole awful lot. Let's check that out on the second set of strings again. So here's root 5, 7, and 3 for a C. If I raise the root up, we see what we just talked about. We see the E minor 7 from the top, root on top, which is the C major 9. If I make that E minor into an E minor 9 by adding this F sharp, I've actually played a G 7 on top with the F sharp up here. If I raise the G to a 9, the A, I'm actually playing a B minor 7 with a 5 on top. So there's the B and the F sharp, the D, the flat 3, and the A, the flat 7. So there's two ways you can look at the 9 there. Take your chord and replace the root with a 9 by going up 2 frets, but also look for what the substitutions are, what other chord that might be. That one set I don't mind on the bottom set of strings, because I have the root in 5 low. If I take that G, raise the root into a 9, that's a B minor 7. If I raise its root to a 9, I've got a D major 7 with the 5 on the bottom and the root on the 5th string. If I make that a major 9 by raising the D to an E, I now have an F sharp with a 5 on top, flat 3 and flat 7 on the bottom, so minor 7. So an F sharp minor 7 is again a D major 9. If you take the major chord, make it a major 9, it's also the 3 chord, minor 7. And that's obviously worked on every set of strings in all the inversions we've looked at. Alright guys, I'm going to leave it at that. So take your 9s, figure them out on their own, but also learn how they work as chord substitutions. Take her easy. Talk to you later.